Well, good morning. We're continuing on with the commentary on the book of Judges, and we reach chapter 18. But before we continue with that, we must remember what happened in chapter 17. Micah had made two gold and silver images. One was a graven image, the other one was a molten image, and he had actually enticed a Levite priest to come and live in his house and be his substitute father because his father had died, and also his priest. And so when we start chapter 18, that is where we are in that circumstance at that time. And the title of today's message, The Danites robbed Micah of his priest and of his idols. In those days there was no king in Israel, and in those days the tribe of the Danites sought them an inheritance for them to dwell in. For unto that day all of their inheritance had not fallen unto them among the tribes of Israel. Now, don't think that they hadn't received their inheritance. They just hadn't gone in and fought for it. Now, back in the book of Joshua, chapter 19, verses 40 to 48, the tribe of Dan had been allocated a parcel of land, but they were not satisfied with their allocation, and had gone and taken out other land as well as their allocation, calling the additional city captured Dan. After this, an allocation of land was given to Joshua and Mount Ephraim. And now it looks like they're coming after that piece of land as well. Now, verse 2 onwards, all of this chapter is God's plan. And the children of Dan sent out their families, 5 men from their coast, men of valor from Zorah and Estaol, to spy out the land and searched it, and they said unto them, Go and search the land. Who, when they came to Mount Ephraim, which is the land allocated to Joshua and his people, to the house of Micah, they lodged there. Despite capturing more land than they originally allocated by the Lord, the people of Dan were still unsettled and not satisfied with their situation. They were spiritually restless. And sadly, we have that sort of situation in many churches today. People are not satisfied with their allocation. They're not satisfied with their position. They're not satisfied with who their friends are or the people who sit around beside them in the churches. I'm hitting some buttons, maybe. Okay, let's go to verse 3. When they were by the house of Micah, they knew the voice of the young man, the Levite. And they turned in there and said unto him, And what makes you in this place? And what have you here? How come we have a Levite living here? What is the deal? And he said unto them, Thus and thus deal made with me, Micah, and has hired me, and I am his priest. Micah made a contract with me, and he has hired me as his priest. Nothing wrong with that. And they said unto him, Ask counsel, we pray thee, of God, that we may know whether our way that we shall go shall be prosperous. Notice they didn't ask God whether their way would be safe, whether their way would glorify him. No, they wanted to know whether their way would be prosperous. This is where you get the prosperity gospel from, right back here in the book of Judges. Verse 6, And the priest said unto them, Go in peace, before the Lord is your way wherein you go. Go in peace, for the Lord will go before you. Then the 5 men departed and came to Laish, which also in another place in the scriptures is called Leshem, and saw the people that were therein, how they dealt carelessly after the manner of the Zidonites, quiet and secure, and there was no magistrate in the land that might put them to shame in anything. And they were far from the Zidonites and had no business with any man. They were an isolated group, living on their own, doing their own thing. And they came out unto them to Zorah and to Estaol, and their brethren said unto them, What say you? What is your report from spying out the land? And they said, Arise, that we may go up against them, for we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good. And are you still? Not be slothful, and go and enter and possess the land. The land is good, and we can enter and possess it. Now is the time to rise up and possess the land. When you go, you shall come unto a people who are secure, and to a large land, for God has given it into your hands. They didn't ask God permission whether he had given it into their hands. They were going to take it. A place where there is not want of anything that is in the earth. It is just like God promised, a land filled with milk and honey. And there went from there to the family of Danites, out of Zorah and out of Estaol, 600 men appointed with weapons of war. Notice they only took warriors from 2 of the cities of the tribe of Dan. They didn't call all of the people from Dan, they only took it from 2 cities. And they went up and pitched in Kirath-Jearim in Judah, wherefore they call the place Mahahaden unto this day. Behold, it is behind Kirath-Jearim. And they passed there unto Mount Ephraim and come unto the house of Micah. And here we have a conclusion. Then answered the 5 men that went to spy out the country of Laish, and said unto their brethren, Do you know that there is in these houses an ephod, a teraphim, and a graven image, and a molten image? Now therefore consider what we have to do. They didn't pray to the Lord, should we take them? They didn't pray to the Lord, should we get involved in this form of idolatry? No, they just said, Now therefore consider what we should do. And they turned therewith and came to the house of the young man, the Levite, even unto the house of Micah, and saluted him. They saluted the priest. And the 600 men appointed with their weapons of war, which were at the children of Dan, stood by the entrance of the gate. They did not go in. And the 5 men that went out to spy the land went up from the gate and came in there and took the graven image and the ephod and the teraphim and the molten image, and the priest stood in the entrance of the gate with the 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. For the priest's safety, he is taken to the place of the 600 men that are armed for war. And they went into Micah's house and fetched the carved image, the ephod and the teraphim and the molten image. Then the priest said unto them, What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't you know it is against God's law to steal? And the Levite was right. And they said unto him, that is the priest, Hold your tongue, lay your hand upon your mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. Is it not better for you to be a priest unto the house of one man, or that you be a priest unto the whole tribe of the family of Israel? Here is the evil trap. Do you want to be the father and priest of one family and lead them and teach them all of the ways of the Lord so they follow after God's laws? Or do you want to become the father and priest of a whole tribe and be coerced into becoming defiled and follow after other gods? That is the same trap that sometimes Christian pastors fall into. They have been faithfully pastoring a small flock and raising them up in spiritual maturity, just as the Lord wants, that is, quality Christians. They are then enticed to come and lead a large church, but then under the leadership team, who are more interested in church numbers and the side of the offering than in the spiritual maturity of the individual congregation members, we have the problem. God wants quality, not quantity. God would rather have 10 fully mature Christians than 1,000 lukewarm ones. Why? because they get vomited out of his mouth, like the church in Laodicea. They are a lukewarm church. Verse 20, and the priest's heart was glad. He was glad they were going to take him to a big area. He was going to be the father of many families. He was going to be the priest of a whole tribe of the nation of Israel. And he took the stolen goods, the ephod and the stolen ephraim and the stolen graven image, and went into the midst of the people. Now the priest, the Levite priest, is defiled, because he knew that these items were stolen, and now he is an accomplice to the theft. See how quickly Satan can intervene into the priestly duties to take glory away from the Lord. So they turned and departed and put the little ones and the cattle and the carriages before them. The children, the cattle, and the carriages are before them, so they cannot escape. Verse 22, and when they were a good way from the house of Micah, the men that were in the houses near Micah's house were gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. It is good to have neighbors who come to your aid. And they cried unto the children of Israel, and they turned their faces and said unto Micah, what ails you that you come with such a company? Why are you going with these people? And Micah said, you have taken away my gods which I made, and the priest which I paid for, and you've gone away, and what have I left? That is what you say unto me, what ails you? Don't you understand that now I have nothing left? And the children of Dan threatened him. The children of Dan said unto him, let not your voice be heard amongst us, lest angry fellows run up upon thee, and you lose your life with the life of your household. If you want to live and also protect all that are within your household, then keep your mouth shut. And the children of Dan went their way. And when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back unto his house. Did Micah realize that his handmade gods had no power? They could not even protect themselves from being stolen. And the Levite priest was easily persuaded to go to another place by being offered more status. Maybe this was a time of revelation for Micah. And they took the things that which Micah had made, and the priests which he had, and came unto Laish, unto a people that were quiet and secure. And they smote them with the edge of the sword, and burnt the city with fire. Here again, you don't hear the priest saying anything against this. And verse 28, and there was no deliverer, because it was far from Zidon, and they had no business with any man. It was in the valley that lies by Beth Rehob, and they built a city there and dwelt therein. So this is those people from two of the families and two of the parts of the tribe of Dan. From two cities, Zorah and Beth Daul. They've now come and lived in this new place, and they've set up a new city, and they've called it Dan. Call the name of the city Dan after the name of Dan, their father, who was born unto Israel. Howbeit the name of the city was Laish at first. And the children of Dan set up the graven image, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan unto the day of the captivity of the land. So, notice they chose a family of the sons of Manasseh to be their priests, not the Levite priest who came with them. We don't know what happened to him. He might have been burnt in the city when he complained that what they were doing was wrong, when they killed everybody in the city. They took the priest from Micah's house, but there is no mention of him being the priest of the tribe of Dan here. Non-Levites were ordained to be priests to an alternate god. And they set up Micah's graven image, and he made all of this time that the house of God was in Shiloh. So remember, in Shiloh, it's where Joshua set up the tabernacle of the congregation, where they worshipped to the God of Israel. And here Satan set up an alternate house of worship in the town just next to Shiloh. Pardon me. Jonathan sets a place of worship to another god, opposite the place in Shiloh where the tabernacle of the congregation was established to the God of Israel. This is why the tribe of Dan was denied selection as one of the 12 tribes who were selected to send 12,000 evangelists as one tribe of the 144,000 of the last great revival movement. Remember, in their place, we have Manasseh and Ephraim.